All right, hello YouTubers. So I've been working on some organization projects in the garage, trying to get organized and cleaned up out here. And the one thing I've been working on is organizing all my hardware. So screws, washers, bolts, everything. You'll see in a separate video that I post, I've already organized a lot of the smaller stuff in these bins over here. But then more common hardware I decided to put in the drawer of my the US General toolbox. So I was looking for some cheap organization bins because I didn't want to spend a bunch of money. I was looking at potentially buying the bins from Uline or Acro Mills. You know, those shelf bins or whatever they call them that have dividers in them that you can do whatever with. But by the time I would have done this one drawer, it was going to be $50, and I didn't want to spend that kind of money on a bunch of plastic for a drawer. So, as everybody knows, Harbor Freight sells a bunch of cheap junk, and I thought cheap junk was probably exactly what I needed just to put some organization dividers in a drawer. So I went there, and sure enough, they had these 3 by 4. They're 5 inches deep. They're 3 or 4 inches wide, and they're 3 inches tall. And they sell a kit for $9.99. And if you take the 20% coupon that they send you, I ended up buying them for $8.50, I think. You get 20 bins. And it came with these cheap plastic hangers that you're supposed to hang on the wall or whatever. Well, I wasn't doing that, so I threw those away. And then I put 20 bins in here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 across. And then I got 2 back in the corner. And then I had some other plastic bins here left over from an old organizer thing that fit perfectly back here. So now I've got the whole drawer sectioned off into containers. So what I chose to do was in this drawer, it's all of my construction stuff, basically. Larger quantity, more used hardware. So for instance, I've got deck screws, I've got Simpson screws, I've got Craig screws, regular wood screws. I got all my concrete anchors. Since I live in a concrete block house, I do use those quite a bit. I got 3 to 4 different sizes. And then I've got a bunch of 1/4 20 hardware back here that I sorted out. And then some large anchors, big 3/16 lag screws. And then I've got a bunch of openings for whatever I end up buying in the future. So this has turned out great. I've already used it on a couple of projects. In fact, I had this done before I built this rack. And it was easy as coming over here, grab the wood screws, go over to my assembly table, and I knew exactly where everything was. I used it, put it back. Even with the you know, some of the hardware comes with a bit, and we've all got hundreds of these bits, but you never can seem to find them. So I just threw a bit in with the specialty stuff, if it was a square drive or a star drive, like these SPAC screws, and then and did it that way. I also used a lean 6 technique that I'm sure everybody's familiar with. Let me see if I can tilt this down. So in cases where I knew what the hardware was, I would rip off the tag or the lid and stick it in the bottom of the bin, and that way basically if you can see the tag and you can tell you're low on hardware, then you know to reorder hardware. It also helps to identify the stuff in the bins, such that you know what size it is. You know, 1.25 wood screw looks exactly like an 1.5 wood screw. So I might actually label each bin, but I would have to get pretty ambitious to do that. I'm not sure it's needed for what I do, but potentially I could. So anyways, for about $10 and some time investment, I was able to grab all of my boxes of hardware that were in these drawers and shelves and strewn all over the place. And I've got all my hardware either in this drawer or in these bins in this cabinet that I built. And I've got room to grow. I've got 2 more bins here. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 opens here. And these little shelves, they're cheap and not very good made, but who cares if they're sitting in a drawer? I think it'd be different if they were hanging on a wall. I don't think you'd want to do that with these. They're pretty cheap, but they're perfect to go inside of a drawer like this and provide some organization. So again, had a lot of new subscribers. I want to thank everybody who subscribed, and I appreciate it. Appreciate your support. Hopefully this will get you, give you some ideas on how maybe you can go organize your hardware. Not saying that you have to do it like me, but might give you some ideas on how your situation could be easily organized similar to this. So if you like the video, hit the like button please, and share it with your friends. And I'd appreciate it if you subscribed if you're not already a subscriber, and I've got more content on the way.